Welcome into the Sixth Man. I'm Chris Draper. He's Brandon Burnett, and you are tuned in to the greatest television show on your TV sets, man. Maybe I'm being a little outlandish.
At least in the
state. A little hyperbole, but at least in the state, baby.
Yeah.
So that's what we got. But coming up, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to discuss a recap of the Piedmont District. Quick little recap of the Piedmont District. Tunstall and Tunstall and Martinsville last week.
Oh, yeah, that was surprising. Very
Martinsville
surprising.
beat the crap out of Tunstall, just to be honest.
50
to zip.
50 to nothing. Xanthus Harrison gets over 1,000 yards on the season, scores 4 times. They are really, really trying to finish this season on a high note. 5-3, got 2 games left.
2 very winnable games.
Very winnable games. I really think they can really.
I really think they're going to finish 7-3, and they're going to get a top seed in 2A classification, in that Group 2A.
How much things change in a year? It's incredible.
Well,
just to think last year that this team had to play on the road in the first game against a top team.
Well, we always said they had great skill positions, but it was their line that needed management. And that line has definitely come to play along with that defense, too. That defense can really stop and really control the run, especially when everybody's healthy. And I think now everybody's getting back healthy, especially we've seen against Tunstall, which was a team above 500. Now they're probably just at 500 at this point. But Tunstall was one of those teams that were iffy within the district who really didn't think they had played anybody. And now they're getting to the bulk of their schedule where they're going to meet Magna Vista next. They just played Martinsville. Expect a tough road for Tunstall moving ahead. I don't expect them to make the playoffs because of the last bit of it.
Well, the thing also, Tunstall might have just a little bit of an advantage this week. I think this is a pipe dream.
Well, they play Magna Vista, though.
I think this is a pipe dream just because of the fact that Magna Vista plays GW next.
Trap game?
Could be a trap game, but that being said, this team is.
We're also talking about a Magna Vista team that reeled off 28 in the first quarter against Patrick County and pumped the brakes, took their foot off the gas, basically.
Well, just the defense just kept rolling.
28 in the first quarter.
Yeah, the defense kept rolling. That's just how good this team is. And also
38 zip win.
Yeah, since the first year, back in 2008.
Saw Austin Perkins again, too, my man. We got to see Austin Perkins again.
Yeah, and he looked good, too.
Yes, he did.
He did. He had that 45.
It's Patrick County, though. I can't give you any slack. No disrespect to Derek Jones and company, but I can't cut you any slack against Patrick County, man. At the end of the day.
That 45-yard run was so good that my audio cut out when I was yelling.
Yeah, I understand, man.
Well, also the wind was pretty bad too. But no, the thing is, they're 44-2 at home in the last 8 seasons. They, first season in 2008, they were 0-5 at home. They went 0-10. Since that time, they've only lost twice. That was to Franklin County in 2010 and to GW 2 years ago. That's unbelievable what they were able to do at home. And I tell you the truth, if they win these next 2 games, which I think they can. I think they have a chance to beat. They have a good chance to beat Tunstall. They beat GW. I think they'll host at least 2 playoff games.
They'll host at least 2, maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3. Just depends on the seed because 3A West is pretty tough. And with a lot of the teams in 3A West, like Stanton River, Brookville.
Well, they got gypped last year. They should have got a higher seed last year. They were a 4 seed.
Like Stanton River, Brookville, Lower Botetourt, teams like that are already in 3A West. And I feel like Magna Vista is still going to get gypped this year because, in my opinion, they've played some strong competition, especially at the beginning of the season. Those 2 losses that came early at the beginning of the season to Dan River, and I think they beat Dan River now. I think it'd be a tougher game. After what I've seen, I think it'd be a much tougher game, and I think they beat Dan River now.
The thing is, Dan River's really played well this year. They only have 1 loss, and that was to Appomattox, a defending state champion, by 2 points.
And do I think they beat William Byrd? Injuries happened in that game.
That's true.
Jason Scales I can't remember. He didn't play against Dan River. That's the only game he didn't play in the season. So, but they missed some red zone opportunities as well.
Did Chris Scales break his rib in that game?
I think it was Chris Scales when it goes down in the William Byrd game. If I'm not mistaken, hard to remember, man. Trust me, I have hard remembering things last night. So.
Yeah, he didn't play against Martinsville. That was the game that we did. And we will get to see Martinsville this coming week. Yeah,
Bassett versus Martinsville. And then you had, you had Franklin County over Halifax 41-16. I expected that to be more of a matchup. However, it wasn't. Franklin County getting back to 500. They'll host LCA this week. GW will host Halifax. That's a drubbing. GW probably going for 50. Kayshawn Forrest nearing David Wilson and his record, most likely.
Very, very close.
Patrick County gets a well-deserved bye. I mean, they hadn't had a bye at all.
9 straight games.
9 straight games, so they get a well-deserved bye. Nurse their injuries coming up. Their big running back as well. And then you have Magna Vista versus Tunstall. Magna Vista is going to smack Tunstall, in my opinion. My personal opinion, Magna Vista is going to smack Tunstall. I understand it's a trap game, and we've seen Magna Vista in trap games.
But I don't think they'll lose.
But no, they won't lose. They'll continue, and it'll be their last game heading forward, which is next week, which we're all about. GW versus Magna Vista. Might even do a promo for it. I know. Hopefully, I can get Jock. Man, hopefully I can do a couple interviews with a couple players who have played in that, because that matchup is the recent rivalry that just started
the last 3
about
years.
3 years ago.
It's been
every bit of a great game every time.
Yeah, the last 3 years it's just taken the whole district by storm. Since 2013, I was at that game in 2013. That was incredible.
Shalom McGuire enters the game.
That was his coming out party.
Yeah, basically.
He was amazing in that game.
Oh, yes, he was, man. And hopefully I can get some film of that game, because I might run something on Thursday. But with that being said, it's time to talk about the Bassett versus Martinsville matchup. That Bassett versus Martinsville matchup did not start as a rivalry until 2004. This is when Bassett is consolidated. Everybody has consolidated. Magna Vista Law Park, Bassett, FC, and with Bassett and FC, you got the skill positions at FC. You got the Smacky Thomas, you got the Torrance Harrison, you got the Brandon Dillards, you got the Brandon Johnsons, you got the Marcus Muse. You have guys like that, but and Almonte Bernards. But when it comes to that line play, that was all Bassett. You get your Andrew Millers, you get your Elijah McCalls, you get a lot of those guys, and that's when it starts. And you get your Quincy's, Chauncey Rosses. You get those kind of guys coming over from Bassett. So when that happens, guess what? Line meets skill position meets Bassett going to Richlands and losing in a game that they got cheated out of because it was watered the field on that one. Seriously, water was the field, and that's what happened, and probably owes Coach Gilbert a state championship at this time. I'll say it because I'm media. However, that's when it all started. That's when that Bassett-Martinsville rivalry started, because Bassett was not a good team. Martinsville had always been a great team. Let me tell the kids out there, Martinsville had always been a great team, whether it was football or whether it was basketball, but Bassett was not known for either one at this time. Bassett probably known for more baseball and female sports at the time, to be honest with you.
Well, this past weekend,
female sports, because Shirley McCall was playing.
Yeah, this past weekend I went back and did some research between Bassett and Martinsville. The rivalry has been very even since 2004.
Oh, yeah.
Since from 2004 until now, it's been very even.
Yeah, who winning? I mean, who has the edge,
I believe Bassett has the edge.
Bassett probably has the edge.
Bassett won, I think, 5 straight.
From 2004 to 2009, they probably won 5 straight.
I think they won 6 straight, actually.
From 2004 to 2009, because you got guys like a quarterback like Brandon Johnson. You got Rashawn Boo Woods. You have, you got Shaq Tinsley, I think, playing for them as well. Or Shaq Finney for Bassett. You have Martin Scales. I could continuously name it. Like I said, you have Aaron Covington, Elijah McCall, Andrew Miller. You have Tim Miller. You have so many guys.
You have a great array of
for
players,
Bassett. But then again, when you look at Martinsville, man, in those matchups, you got Snook Harrison, Tracy Harrison. You have Quan Beamer, for God's sakes, DeMario Martin as well. You got so many guys. I'm just saying, you got a buttload of Harrisons. That's Martinsville. That's what they're known for. But
Harrisons, and then you have Dillards on the other
exactly.
side.
But those were the matchups, man. Especially dating back to that regional final where it's blow for blow, and it's whoever's going to get the ball last. As far as with Brandon Johnson and Quan Beamer and Coach Edwards and Coach Gilbert. These are the type of matchups we were talking about, and it's just not the same, and it hasn't been the same. Martinsville blew Bassett out last year, which we thought would be a pretty good matchup.
Oh, that game was incredible because Dylan McKinney got sacked so many times.
Whether it was Xanthus Harrison, or, Cameron Bradley even. Cameron Bradley had a field day on that team with Tata Carter. But
really, honestly, in that game, I felt so bad for Dylan McKinney because he had no time to throw the ball. Martinsville just looked so. That was the best game they played overall the whole season.
And to be honest with you, I think after that game, that's when Martinsville got that momentum moving forward to have a season like they're having now. So Bassett,
that's how they got a playoff spot.
Bassett won't have a playoff spot. They're in 4A for God's sakes.
I'm talking about Martinsville.
Oh, Martinsville. Yeah, they still got a playoff spot off that game in general.
Yeah.
So
because that was a late game. That was late in the season.
Oh, yes, it was. But with this matchup coming forward, it's about pride, man. It's about playing for bragging rights. There's no more Piedmont District champion. Bassett is 4A and Martinsville is 2A. They'll never face in the playoffs again.
It's kind of amazing to think that Bassett's 4A and they're 2A. It's kind of crazy.
These kids really know each other. These kids are across the pond. And if you think Aaron Martin is the best quarterback in this district at this time, him and Sam Branch, you're sadly mistaken.
I saw you and Aaron have a little conversation on Twitter.
Well, that conversation on Twitter goes like this. I mean, Aaron, I know his dad very well. I know him very well. He's a hard worker. Trust me, one of the hardest workers I've seen over there, especially when basketball season comes. Because when basketball season comes, I'll go ahead and get my prediction now. He PD Player of the Year. Guarantee that.
They got a great opportunity.
I'm sorry.
They got a great opportunity to win 3 straight championships.
And I think they just might. So, we might have it again. But when it comes to the best quarterback in the PD, Aaron Martin has all the intangibles. He has the skill set. And trust me, he showed us enough against Magna Vista to let us know
he has a heck of an arm, too.
Yes, he does. And he's got the wide receiving core, and he's got a great running back. And and the way they proved themselves against Dan River this year, Martinsville could go even further than Magna Vista at this point in 2A. They're not a slouch.
Well,
Appomattox would be that. Yeah.
That's the team that and Dan River are going to be the teams they're going to have to get past.
But against Dan River, they weren't healthy all the way. They've still been missing 2 inside linebackers. But Martinsville against Bassett, you can't look forward. We got to look game by game because with Martinsville and Bassett, that's a rivalry. Anything could happen.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Magna Vista might handle Martinsville, but with it being a rivalry game, everything amped up.
Oh, that was a great. That was
51 to 38.
But barring sans the penalties, it was a very fun game. It was a very fun game, a high-scoring game, a lot of fun. The penalties really kind of dampened a lot of things, but it was a really fun game. 51 to 37. It's been a long time since we've seen this game like that.
Bassett is going to have to be ready for a heavy blitz, a heavy dose of blitz, a heavy dose of about 8.
They're going to load the box. They're going to load the box.
And trust me, Dylan McKinney might be running for his life once again, but he's going to have to look to Justin Taylor.
He's going to have to look
to Trey Wimbush and Coco Lobo, his wide receiving core. Zakiel Mitchell's going to have to play. I might even expect Seven Ziegler to possibly run the ball just a little bit. That defense is going to have to play. That defense did a great job, from what I was told, against GW in the first start of the game. Actually held them, pushed them 3 and out, which is not easy to do. Stopped Kayshawn Forrest twice. Yeah. But Bassett is also one of those teams that once they get smacked in the face, they stay down.
Yeah, and that has been a problem this year, especially in some of their earlier games. And, we've seen Bassett. Unfortunately, I feel bad because we haven't seen Martinsville play that much this year because they've only had 4 home games.
Yeah.
That's just the gist of it. But with Bassett, they start out pretty good. And then they kind of falter towards the end. But other than that Patrick County game.
Bassett is always one of those teams. They're going to draw first blood, but can they keep it? Can they sustain it? Can they keep that momentum moving forward? One bad play here, one penalty there, and Dylan McKinney is the only one I'm seeing playing on that sideline, running for his life, just back and forth. And you have one of the best wide receiver tandems, and I really don't think at his best anybody can cover Justin Taylor with the height and with the ability, but we got to check that mental. Sometimes Justin Taylor's lining up and he's not doing anything. He's not trying to create space or separation. You gotta help your quarterback.
It's funny. I want to mention really quick. I think with Bassett, Martinsville, and Magna Vista, this is some of the best wide receiving cores I have seen in this area in a long time. And the thing is, I haven't been following this area as long as you have, but this is a heck of a receiving core we have on all 3 of these teams.
Well, I think receiving cores have gotten better since I was coming up in this matchup with Bassett and Martinsville, because back then they ran the ball tremendously. Guys weren't known for throwing. Brandon Diller's not throwing the ball downfield for the most part. We had Nick. I remember Nick Harrison was the backup quarterback. You might go to him to throw. Brandon Diller's running that option. Once he gets to the outside, fastest man on the East Coast, you're not stopping him. So, Quan Beamer might let it go, but when you got Snook Harrison in that backfield, please. So I'm just saying, it's a couple of times, during these rivalries, you're not throwing the ball as much.
No.
Rashawn Boo Woods back there too. No. Justin Woods on that line. I'm just saying, you're not throwing the ball. And don't let me get Damian Harrison. Those are the differences now. Bassett had those lines intact. Those guys spent time in the weight room. Andrew Miller went to the NFL, for God's sakes.
Yep, that's true.
Tim Miller went to play for Virginia Tech as well, wrestling scholarship. And then you have Damian Harrison. He goes to Shepherd. Look at the lines back with Bassett back then. If Dylan McKinney has one of those lines, then I'm thinking Dylan McKinney probably does damage in the district, and Bassett has a better record and beats teams like Christiansburg and Blacksburg at the beginning of the season. But right now, towards the end of the season, that Patrick County helped them with the win. Scoring twice on GW might help them, but they're going to need all of that because they're playing at Martinsville. This is not at their house.
Yeah, it's at Martinsville.
And Martinsville is one of those places you might get home cooked.
And it is their senior night as well.
And if you think Xanthus Harrison and Aaron Martin aren't prepared to run all over Bassett, you're sorely mistaken. So I expect Coach Gilbert to do what he did against GW, do what he did against Magna Vista. He's going to load up as many as he can in the box and pray to the good Lord that they get stops. So with that being said, man, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Got a little NBA action coming up, man. Don't write your ship on the Warriors just yet. Y'all calm down. Pump your brakes. Aaron Rodgers' voice. Relax.
For Memorial Hospital of Martinsville and Henry County, hometown means commitment to our community. It can be seen in our mission to deliver high-quality care close to home, experienced through new services and cutting-edge technology, and felt in the dedication of our doctors and staff to their neighbors and friends. Memorial Hospital of Martinsville and Henry County. Hometown healthcare builds a healthy community.
I am Autos by Nelson.
I am Autos by Nelson.
I am Autos by Nelson.
I'm Autos by Nelson.
I am 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 Autos by Nelson.
Over 400 employees serving Martinsville and Henry County over 40 years.
We are Autos by Nelson.
Loan specialist. Usually that's someone who fights for your signature then sells your loan to Never Never Land, never to speak with you again. At Martinsville First Savings Bank, we don't sell our loans, and we're locally owned and operated, so all decisions are made at 25 West Church Street in Uptown Martinsville. We've been serving the South Side since 1924. Proof that serving you remains our focus. For more information, call 276-638-8771 or visit martinsvillefirst.com. FDIC insured, equal housing lender.
Crowds in Midtown today mean only one thing.
Everyone is ready for the next-gen iPhone. And so is Verizon, with the only next-gen network that lets you make the most of it. LTE Advanced delivers 50% faster peak speeds to over 450 cities coast to coast. The next-gen iPhone deserves the next-gen network. And right now, get our best offer ever, an iPhone 7 on us.
Hi, I'm Shannon Minner, Quick Lube Ridgeway Manager. Our #1 goal is customer satisfaction.
Here at Quick Lube, we do
oil changes.
We also do
tire rotations. Don't forget, we're more than just the oil change. We do it all. Hi, I'm Robbie, Manager at the Martinsville Quick Lube. Don't let your tires get as bald as, well, my head. Stop by and check us out for all your automotive needs.
Quick Lube, serving you with 2 locations, Ridgeway and Martinsville, or visit us online at quicklubeva.com.
The Smith River Sports Complex has the entire sports community talking.
Facilities are fantastic. I mean, no matter where you go in the country, you won't find as good of facilities as we got here in Martinsville.
Everyone is just so friendly and wants us to have a good time here.
I've never been on the field this great.
We run the Cardinal Cup lacrosse tournament here, and we absolutely love the venue. The fields are great, the amenities are great, the concessions.
Welcome back to the Sixth Man. I'm Chris Draper. He's Brandon Burnett. And it's time to get to a little bit of the Golden State Warriors last night, losing by about 20 to 30 points. Was
29
points?
Yeah, it was crazy because the Cavs won by 29. By the way, I'm going to see them play in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, he keeps bringing this up like 24/7. It's a jealousy factor here. Don't get it twisted.
I'm excited.
You should be.
I'm excited.
You should be.
That's
However,
that's going to be fun. But I tell you, the thing is,
Go ahead.
you're about ready to mention, I watched a little bit of the game. I flipped back and forth between that and the World Series.
Mm-hmm. World Series is probably better.
Yeah, by the way, I think Hades is frozen over with Cleveland Indians and the Chicago Cubs in the World Series.
Cleveland's about to win. Like, the sporting world feels rigged, but it's not. But I'm just saying. God.
Well, the thing is, you don't have to worry about Cleveland Browns making a trifecta.
You don't have to worry about that.
No. Cleveland Browns, they're doomed to suck forever.
Yeah, but with the whole Golden State game here, that's why, because we don't even need to talk about the Cavaliers. We knew they were going to drag the Knicks. I mean, seriously,
I knew
the
they
Knicks
were
putting
gonna
that team
skull
together.
them.
Like I said, I've repetitively said this. If it was 2011, that Knicks team would be perfect. However, it's 2016. It's done for Joakim Noah and the rest of them. Carmelo Anthony's too old. Derrick Rose is not the same guy he was. You can say what you want.
All those injuries have hurt
All those
him.
injuries have hurt this team. And that's pretty much it with them. So, to the Golden State Warriors. So many people have jumped off the bandwagon on Facebook this morning.
I know, it's only
one game. Are you serious? Do we not remember? And let me call your attention to this. Same concept. LeBron James travels to South Beach with Chris Bosh and D-Wade staying there. Brings a lot of people with him as well. Took his talents to South Beach, right? I recall those first few games, man, they were getting dragged and they couldn't win at all. And even media reports saying they were crying in the locker room. Do you remember that, 2011? Matter of fact, for 2011 and 2012, this was the same team that was not even first in their respective conference.
That's
Chicago
right.
Bulls were. Now, they won it in 2012 against a Thunder team that wasn't ready, in my opinion.
And they did win in 2013.
And they won it in 2013.
Thanks to Ray Allen.
Thanks to Ray Allen against the San Antonio Spurs. So,
and
but
Manu Ginobili. 2011,
they didn't show up because LeBron didn't show up. Averaged 17 points a game in that finals against the Dallas Mavericks. D-Wade showed up, though, just to let them know. So, with that being said.
But it was the opposite in 2014.
With all that being said.
Yep.
Golden State has probably one of the best starting fives other than Zaza Pachulia you've ever seen in your life. I mean, 2 MVPs on that team, 4 all NBA players as well. Yes, that bench is horrendous at this point, and they're going to have to expect major production out of Ian Clark, JaVale McGee, Shaq in a full winner 2 times in a row, if I may add. I don't think he won it last year, but they're going to have to expect JaVale McGee, who has potential, but after being dunked on by Simmons last night, I don't know if he's ever going to start with rim protection. Simmons just showed out. Kawhi Leonard showed out. LaMarcus Aldridge showed out. And that team, I think we underestimated the Spurs. We thought Tim Duncan would be a loss, but he was a loss in the playoffs regardless last year.
Yeah,
so it didn't matter.
The thing is, as long as Greg Popovich is the coach of the San Antonio Spurs,
pump him in that system.
That team is going to be good.
And Kawhi Leonard.
He is the Bill Belichick of
I'd have to agree with
of the NBA. He is unbelievable what he's able to do with that talent.
Fine gems. Kyle Anderson. Simmons.
Yeah,
Mills.
He makes diamonds out of coal.
I even saw Ginobili revive a little bit, hit a 3, got to the rack, got it in.
Well, they were hitting all their shots from the field.
They shot 50% from the field, but so did the Warriors. The Warriors just, when you look at the rest of the team, Klay Thompson, he's got to get in where he fits in. Draymond Green is going to do his regular thing, but the rest of them have to understand they need to get in where they fit in. Steph Curry took less threes. At times he took some threes that were desperation threes, heat check threes. But Steph Curry was getting to the rack and got probably more points in the paint than anybody last night on that Golden State Warriors team other than Kevin Durant. Now, Kevin Durant had a great night as well.
He did.
Because superstars are going to get theirs no matter what team you're on. So if you thought Steph Curry's numbers were going to dwindle, please. Steph Curry's going to keep those same numbers. Maybe not 30, but 26. Assists probably goes up this year, and defense gets better because he has a chip on his shoulder. Matter of fact, points in the paint production gets better for Steph Curry. He's going to the rack this year. KD, he's going to get off in that offense. Are you serious? He fits.
Yeah, he fits like a glove. The thing is, I really think that losing Bogut,
Rim protection.
They are not going to
be. That's what hurt him in the finals last year.
Yeah, they are not going to be a very good rebounding team this year.
They've never been a good rebounding team.
They're going to be an even worse rebounding team now.
Especially offensively, and they gave up, 17 plus, if not more, offensive boards.
Oh, yeah, that was the thing.
Spurs had a
lot of second chance points. every time I've turned it over to the game, and eventually I kept it on the game more. But they just gave up so much.
But the funny feeling about the whole team was with the Golden State, you felt like you probably seen them play at their worst, and yet they were still in the game up until at least the beginning of the fourth quarter. Like they were still down by 10, and you felt like, hey, maybe this is that same team last night that can still come back, and the game is never over, and a lead is never safe. Like you're still thinking that, right?
I thought they were going to cut it.
They gave up early last night, though. Steve Kerr just set his team down. Is he going a different route this year, trying to figure out lineups, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, and just going to get his players a little bit more rest? They're not trying to win 70-plus games this year.
Yeah.
Maybe 60.
They're not going to win. They're not going to win 73 games.
But they have the jail.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think they're going to win 73 games this year. I think, and also you have to remember last year they started 24-0. They started 24-0. That was
they're 0-1, and they lost to a perennial team that is normally the top of the West, and it still has Paul Gasol, for God's sakes, Kyle Anderson, Kawhi Leonard. You still have so many of those guys on your team. You saw Simmons last night, for God's sakes. He went off.
Well, the thing is also you have to remember, I think that is going to be a early preview of the Western Conference Finals. I think that's going to be your Western Conference Finals. And
can't count out the Portland Trail Blazers with how Damian Lillard is playing.
I think they will definitely be in the semifinals. Yeah. I definitely think
if they made it last year, in my opinion,
they will do it again. They'll do it again.
Don't count out the Houston Rockets. I feel like James Harden's going to go for an MVP year.
We might have just named all 4 teams in the conference semifinals.
Honestly, I still can't see the Clippers. Honestly, I think Blake Griffin is either going to get traded at All-Star break or he's gone after this year, because you might as well get something for him because he's gone after this year regardless.
Yeah.
And then, I could see him going to OKC or somewhere. Just to, if you see even remotely something with Russell Westbrook going for MVP this year with Enes Kanter, Victor Oladipo, and Steven Adams, if you see something with that team this year, then I could see both of them possibly hooking up. Oklahoma City looks like a great destination for him. He went to Oklahoma in college.
Yeah, that's right. I think that would be a good fit. But before we go off, I just want to mention something really quick.
Go ahead.
Especially with the fact that this is a very big week in the ACC in football.
Go ahead.
In the Coastal Division especially. Oh, actually, Coastal and Atlantic.
We don't have but 1 minute left.
That's right. Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh play on Thursday night, tomorrow night, at Pittsburgh. That could determine who wins that division.
Brandon's hoping that Virginia Tech loses, of course, because UNC lost to Virginia Tech.
That's right.
But I understand.
That's right.
Continue.
That's right. And the thing is, that's their toughest game remaining at Virginia Tech. They play Duke, Georgia Tech, and Virginia. But also, Clemson plays Florida State Saturday night. That game's always great, and that's pretty much going to determine who goes to the conference championship.
Florida State and Miami, in my opinion, both missed the bus this year. Please, they're not.
No, I do think Clemson has not been playing well.
Yeah, you're right.
Clemson's not been playing well. I think that Florida State has a chance. Florida State usually is very hard to beat Clemson.
Hey, man, there you have it. His college football take, my NBA take, his NBA take, our Piedmont District football. With that being said, man, thank you guys for tuning in to the Sixth Man. We'll be back next week for more PD action and possibly the best game of the week all year. GW and Magna Vista. Stay tuned to the Sixth Man.
Martinsville Family Dentistry would like to invite you to experience Zoom. Zoom is a customized whitening experience that's created to make you look your best, give you dynamic results with a whiter, brighter smile in less than an hour. Over 10 million people have benefited from Zoom professional whitening treatment and have experienced the way a radiant smile can improve their self-confidence and their overall happiness. Patients have reported 5 to 8 shades whiter smile in just an hour. Martinsville Family Dentistry is taking new patients, so stop our office at 25 Cleveland Avenue, Suite A in Martinsville.
Hi, I'm Ward Armstrong. If you've been injured in an automobile accident...
Cut! Stop.
What's the matter?
Your tie is on crooked and you're looking at the wrong camera. Look here and say, if you've been injured in an automobile accident, remember, the insurance company is not on your side. We will work to get you the recovery you deserve. There's no fee unless we win your case, and there's no charge for an initial consultation. See? You try it.
Well, I thought actually you said it very well. If you've been injured in an accident case, give us a call. The number's on the screen. We're Armstrong & Armstrong, attorneys at law.